Hello, this is Local Edition. I'm Leslie Layton. This is the first election year where voters in Anaheim will vote on their council member based on where that voter lives. With us now is Anaheim City Councilwoman Lucille Kring to talk about that and some other issues as well. Welcome.
Welcome. Good to see you again, Leslie.
Yeah, nice to see you. Well, in addition to district voting, as it's called, where you vote for a candidate based on the district where you live, there are also two additional City Council members on the board now. So
this is the first time, and it's kind of confusing because I know friends of mine are knocking on doors in my district to help me out, and the people are just really confused because they say, I can only vote for somebody in my district? Yes. I don't think they were very clear when they put the districting on the ballot 2 years ago, but it overwhelmingly won, so here we are. And also, as you mentioned, we are increasing the council from 4 members to 6 members, and the mayor will still be elected at large. So that person will be involved in the whole city.
What effect do you expect this to have on issues the voters will look at in this election?
I think it's going to be kind of problematic, and that's why I did not support districts. I think it's going to end up, you're going to have a little silo in each, because there's 4 districts up for election, 1, 3, 4, and 5. So I think it's going to be a little silo. Somebody's going to ask for a traffic light, somebody's going to ask for a crossing guard at a school, and that's fine, but we cannot divide the budget into 6 different pieces. And at this time, it'd be at 4. The budget is the budget is the budget, and it has to be balanced at the end of June when we vote on it. And we all have to get together to make sure that we feel we get as much as we can for our district, but we have to be beholden to the whole city. Anaheim is one city, just kind of divided into pieces. So if District 1 needs a fire station, I'm all for supporting a fire station. If my district has the money for it to buy land for a new park, I think my colleagues should also support that. And I think it'll be very cordial in the beginning, but then something could happen. Maybe somebody feels they didn't get their police station where they wanted, or their whatever in there. And then it's going to be antagonistic. So if you start to go down that route, how will we ever get this city to be the beautiful city that it wants to be? We at this council, because we're still at large, we just supported Stinkin' Lincoln, as it's been called for years. We finally have a development agreement with the developer who has been there for 20 years and has never left us, which is amazing. So that's going to be dining and retail and all kinds of fabulous things the people in the West End have been asking for. We've also put $500,000 to develop a beach boulevard specific plan. So we want to get rid of the less than appropriate motels, all of the shabby shopping areas, because some of them, when somebody leaves a small shopping center and there's a vacancy, it's hard to fill that. So the place starts to get graffitied and it starts to get more empty places, more broken windows. We want to get rid of that image. So we're really putting our feet to the grindstone and we're making it happen.
But people who are for the districting believe that the people who live in that district will really be represented by someone who's focused on what they want.
Right. Neighbors helping neighbors. And that was the whole thing about this. But if you look at the money coming into the neighbors helping neighbors, it's coming mostly from outside sources. And that's so it's not your neighborhood having a little coffee and raising you $5,000 or whatever. It's outside money that's coming into the districts. And I've always said that if big companies, they're not going to just have to support 1 or 2 people if it were at large. They're going to have to support somebody in every district. So the campaigns become more expensive, they become more aggressive, and there are so many inaccuracies, particularly people who have never run before. They're kind of making stuff up because they don't know what's happening. When most of us ran for council the first or second time, we went to the city manager and we said, what are the issues? Here's what I would like to do. Is that what the city is planning? But these people now don't seem to know anything, and so they're going off the rails.
But again, the intent is to represent everyone and to have someone represent the people of that district.
Absolutely.
So we will definitely see. Anaheim has been one of the largest cities in the state that has not had these so-called district elections. So
yes.
here we go. You touched on a little bit with a Lincoln and Beach Boulevard,
Yes.
some of the changes that are going on there. There is a lot of economic development in
There is.
Anaheim, and Anaheim has been the beneficiary of a lot of revenue that has come in for that to help the city stay out of the red. So many cities are considering one set sales tax increase to manage their budgets.
Yes, it's true. There's a number of cities, and thank God we're not in that. We came out of the recession, and we had tough times. We had to cut different areas. No manager got a raise. A lot of the people, the unions, did not get raises, and they knew it was just going to be a temporary fix. So when the recession ended, Anaheim came out of it, and that's when Disney opened Cars Land, and that was at the end of 12. It was a phenomenal success. So you had people going into Disneyland, buying everything, and so it was the sales tax. They were coming in, they were staying at the hotel, so we had the benefit of the bed tax. So the coffers started to get a little bit bigger. And then now, with the hotel incentive that the majority of council put into place for 4 Diamond hotels, we are desperate for at least 2,600 new 4 Diamond hotel rooms. And there are certain parameters. It's AAA approved. They have to spend $335,000 a key, and that means to build the room. And you have to have $35,000 for fixtures in the room itself, the TVs, the quality of the bath towels, and all of that. So it's not cheap, and they just needed a little help. We don't have any money to give them. People were saying we could use that money for different items. There is no money. When those hotels are built, and only when somebody stays in them and pays the portfolio and the city gets the money, will they get the incentive paid back, but only then. In the meantime, we have the higher end property tax, we've got the increase in the sales tax. People who stay in 4 Diamonds usually tip better, the jobs are usually higher paying, and the trades love it because all those thousands of construction jobs, and they're taking the vets and going helmet to hard hat. And it's just a wonderful program for the vets.
We're certainly enjoying an upswing in the economy, especially coming out of 2008. Things seem to be humming along. Is there any downside to the deals that the city has made, these incentives with the hotel construction, and that if we hit another bubble?
Well, at this point, we always know there's going to be, it's an up and down financial area, and the stock market goes up one day and it goes down the next day. So unless you have a crystal ball and you know how to use it, you really don't know what the future has. But what the city does, and our finance director does, and our city manager, they look at past performance to see what future performance will provide. And at this point, all arrows point that it's going to be tremendously successful. Now, it takes at least 18 months to 24 months to build a 4 Diamond, to build any hotel. But we also have coming on board next spring is the expansion of the convention center, and they've already booked huge conventions, the medical conventions, and they're the ones that bring in a lot of money up until the 2020. So we're pretty solid there. We're keeping what we already have, and so that's going to help with the revenue and the visitors who come and occupy our 4 Diamond hotels. So at this point, I'm going to be very optimistic. I'm going to say the scene looks very, very rosy. But maybe after the election, the presidential election, things will be completely different. We don't know. That's one of the unknowns that's in our future.
You know, we had the unfunded pension liability, but that reality check may actually help the city moving forward so that we don't get too rosy and optimistic in the good times, and you remember about some of these issues.
Yes, we remember that. So when we do have the money, we try to allocate it to the unfunded mandate. The unfunded mandate for pensions was about 66% funded 2 years ago. Now it is 77%, and we expect in a couple of years it'll be over 80%. So we're really managing our revenues.
All right. Well, even that can't be predicted, though, the income on those. But
sure.
Thank you very much for sharing with us and bringing us up to date with what's happening
You're
in
very
Anaheim.
welcome.
And thank you for joining us. I'm Leslie Lake.